Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Ecclesiastes, the 11th chapter. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. And, in here in verse 1, you can look at it in through different lens, right? On the one hand, as you go into verse 2 as well, it's dealing with investments, right? On a carnal level, where you give what you have in hopes of getting it back, again. So here it can be casting your bread upon water. It's not like literally taking your bread and throwing it onto the water, but it's like a metaphorical expression for, in the ancient world, if you had like grain or some merchandise, when you cast it upon water, it's like you invest it by ship or by sea, because you would have traders and merchants that would take goods from one area across the waters to another, and the waters being uncertain, right? Like you don't know what would happen. You don't know if you'd be able to get your your share of the gain back based on what you gave up. Okay, but take it across the sea, right? Different lands, and they would basically trade. So it's kind of like making those investments. But also in a spiritual sense, when you cast your bread upon the waters and finding it after many days, it's like making a spiritual investment, right? Being charitable. You give what you have to help. When you cast it upon waters, it's like you don't expect it to come back, right? You give cheerfully, a cheerful giver, and you're gonna find it after many days. So some long time down the line, the Lord will repay you. And sometimes blessings come your way and you don't even remember why, but it could be due to something, charitable that you did, years ago without expecting anything in return. Verse 2, give a portion to 7 and also to 8th, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. And this is like diversifying, from the investment part. Because when you give a portion, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. So let's read this in the NLT. It says from verse 1, send your grain across the seas, and in time profit will flow back to you. But divide your investments among many places, for you do not know what risks might lie ahead. See, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, and then it works against you. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if the tree fall toward the south or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. This is like laws of nature, right? When the clouds are full of rain, you see it's very cloudy. What happens? It rains. If a tree falls in the south, it's not going to be positioned in the north, right? It's going to be exactly where it fell. He that observeth the wind shall not sow. He that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. Observing the wind is like waiting for the perfect time. Eventually there's never really the perfect time. Okay. It says here in the NLT, farmers who wait for the perfect weather never plant. That's sowing. And if they watch every cloud, they never harvest, because you're looking for a good day to harvest. The sun is out, it's not raining, and you're just watching and watching and watching, and the perfect time never comes, and you'll never take action. That's like people always making it, today I had a lot of things to do, so tomorrow I'm going to do it. How do you know that tomorrow you're not going to have more things than today, and then look back and say, damn, I should have done it yesterday because I actually had more time yesterday? Verse 5, as thou knowest not what is the way of the spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb, right? Nobody really understands the intricacies of the spirit, okay? Or as the other alternative word for the spirit is the wind, nor how the bones do grow in the womb, right? Of her that is with child. What goes to form the child is not solid, right? Like it's not, when you sperm and the egg and the mixing and all that, how does that lead to actual bones, which are really bones are extremely hard. Okay, it actually takes a lot. If you're just trying to break somebody's bone, unless you're you know what you're doing and from the right angle with enough force. But bones are very hard. So for such a hard substance to grow inside the womb like that, nobody understands how that works. Even so, thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. See, so just like you don't, these are basic things in the sight of the Lord, and just like we don't understand how these things happen, you can't comprehend in fullness the works of the Lord. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper, either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. So in the morning you labor, you sow your seed. Don't just say, okay, I'm good because I did it in the morning. If you have opportunity in the evening, sow some more, right? Or invest in something, or put your hands to work, because you never know which of the two was going to prosper. What you sowed in the morning, or what you sowed in the evening, or maybe if you're blessed enough, both of them might prosper, and then you have more. Truly, the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing for the eyes to behold the sun. Yeah, who doesn't like a good sunrise, right? But it's necessary because it gives light, and we're able to use that to get around and do what we got to do, right? When you actually look at the essential, the importance, let me put it that way, of the sun, it's not just for sunlight; it's also for heat. If the sun never came up, if the Lord took away the sun, we would freeze. Okay, but as he says, truly the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. If a man live many years and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness. So you may live a long life, you may have a great life, but remember that eventually the days of darkness, where things get hard, where you get old, and eventually you die, that's still going to happen because you're still mortal. For they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. So eventually you're gonna grow like a plane taking off, right? You're gonna go. You're gonna hit your peak, and then eventually you're gonna start to decay. You're gonna start to go into vanity. You're gonna start to go into that long slumber. Verse 9: Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. So enjoy your youth, enjoy the strength, enjoy the 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 good old days, right? Because you're only gonna get older. You're not getting any younger. And walk in the ways of your heart, right? Do the things that you desire to do, right? The things that are pleasing for you to do. But keep in mind that all your actions have consequences, and everything you do, the Lord is watching, and he will bring judgment based on what you do. Therefore, remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity. In the NLT, it says, so refuse to worry and keep your body healthy. But remember that youth with a whole life before you is meaningless. NIV, so then banish anxiety from your heart and cast off the troubles of your body, for youth and vigor are meaningless. Meaning, like, eventually it's that in itself is also gonna pass. And before you know it, you're gonna turn around and be like, damn, now you having back pain, you're not able to spring out of bed like you used to. Okay, you gotta one foot in front of the other. It takes a few to muster up the energy to actually sit up straight, and then you sit there for a while, and then it takes a bit of energy to stand up, get your day started. You feel heavier. Yeah, that happens. So that you're not always gonna have that strength of your youth. Eventually, that's also gonna pass away. And that brings us to the end of the book of Ecclesiastes, the 11th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.